Heavenly Father, please hear my prayers. Save me. Save me from the torment of having to watch this long and daunting movie any longer. I cannot bear another moment of it. It's sucking the life out of me. Please send me far, far away so I don't have to deal with it no longer. Please. In your Son, Jesus Christ's name, amen. Why, Lord? Why have you forsaken me? Why do you answer my prayers with such silence? Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy, back with my second review with the religious theme to it, and that's on the new Martin Scorsese film, Silence. Now, Silence follows two Jesuit priests from Portugal who embark on a dangerous journey to Japan during a time of Christian persecution in the land in order to find the man who taught them their faith, Father Ferreira, and learn 1, if he's still alive, and 2, if he truly committed the act of apostasy, which means denouncing your faith. But once they arrive, they discover that they're in for more than they bargained for, and the test of their faith begins. Now, this film was a long-time passion project for director Martin Scorsese, who's been wanting to make this film for more than 20 years. And now, in 2016/17, he finally got his wish and was able to make and release the film he's been dying to do for so many years. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was really looking forward to seeing Silence for many reasons. The first and most obvious one is that it's directed and co-written by one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, Martin Scorsese, who has made so many great and phenomenal films over the years. And you know that when Scorsese makes a film, you know that you're going to get a quality film hands down. And this was a passion project of his, so you know he's gonna put his best foot forward. As if he doesn't already put his best foot forward. Okay, retraction. He puts his best foot forward, puts 2,000% of his effort, his heart, his blood, sweat, and tears into the making of this film to make the best film that he could possibly make. And it truly shows in the way that he handles the direction in this film, which we'll go into a little bit more. Another thing is that it has a pretty interesting cast attached to the film. You got Andrew Garfield, Adam Driver, and the badass Liam Neeson all starring in this film. I also like the subject matter dealing with the whole religious persecution that happened in Japan. You know, being someone that grew up very religious, I like seeing films that tackle religion and how people are challenged with their faith. And it takes place in Japan, and you all know how I feel about Asian culture, primarily when it comes to Japan. I love that shit. So it had all the elements to be a phenomenal, a great, and enthralling film. And so I finally saw it, and what did I think about it? It is a very well done film, but I cannot say that I loved this film. But let's first discuss all the things this film excels at, like the direction. The direction is solid and on point, which is no surprise considering that it's Scorsese behind the camera. He always gives good direction. And the cinematography is really good in the film. I will say I don't like the fact that it's so smoggy and misty in most of the shots where it's hard to really see what's going on, but I think that was a purposeful choice from the cinematographer and from Scorsese himself. He wanted to make it seem very mystifying, as if this world is so strange and distant and weird to our main characters, and it definitely is conveyed. The script by Jay Cox and Martin Scorsese was solid and well written. They did a fantastic job adapting the original novel to the big screen, and the story is interesting for the most part. It had many engaging moments throughout the film. Most specifically, the last 45 minutes were the most engaging and enthralling part of the story. And the film's story actually reminds me of one of my all-time favorite films, Apocalypse Now. Like, this is the religious version of Apocalypse Now. I mean, think about it. It follows two characters who embark on a dangerous journey to find this one guy in a strange land and have to face many trials and tribulations. I mean, it is basically note for note like Apocalypse Now, minus all of the interesting locales and memorable characters. And the acting here is just fantastic, which honestly does not surprise me because I come to expect that from a Martin Scorsese film, especially with with the performance of Andrew Garfield, which is not only the best performance in the entire film, but one of, if not the best performance I've seen this actor give. Now, I haven't seen Hacksaw Ridge yet. He might have gave a better performance there, but for my money, this is his best performance. It's so raw, so visceral, so emotional. He was able to convey so many emotions, and we kind of get attached to his character through his performance, both physical and emotional. And yeah, the characters were good. I didn't really care too much about them. The only thing that really had an emotional impact on me is seeing them go through all of their suffering, whether they were witnessing it firsthand or going through it. I did feel the pain and suffering that these characters were going through. But that's not to say that I actually was attached to them or truly was invested in them. Guys, I won't lie to you. It's very difficult to critique this film because it is a very well-made film on almost every single level. The problem with this film is that it's such a by-the-numbers well-made film. It follows all the beats to make it a well-made film, but the experience isn't anything special. It's nothing unique. And you're sitting there watching this film saying to yourself, okay, I see where you're going with it. I understand. But I feel no attachment to this. And honestly, it comes off as pretty dull and daunting. And because the film is so by the numbers, it's just not a unique or even an engaging experience. I kind of knew what was going to happen as I was watching the film, and I wanted a more visceral experience, especially since this is a passion project of Martin Scorsese, so I thought he was going to blow me away with what he was going to present us. But what he presented us was so standard, which kind of disappointed me. One of, if not the biggest issue I have with this film that completely broke any sort of engagement I could possibly have was the pacing, as it went at such a snail pace that it became damn near torturous to sit through. There'd be scenes that would go on for way too long. Like when the characters finally arrived to Japan, they stayed at this one village for what seemed like a millennia. We were in this damn village and the story was not progressing at all. We were stuck there. And I was sitting there zoning out. I zoned out like 3 or 4 times in the entire film. And if there's one thing that I don't want to do while watching a Martin Scorsese film is zone out. Hell, I watched Casino, a film that is literally 3 hours long, and I was engaged throughout. In fact, one time I watched Casino, finished it, and then I watched it again. That's how much I loved Casino. That's how much Casino engaged me. I cannot watch Silence again. If I watched it once, I'm not gonna be like, man, I really want to see that again. I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm done with it. I don't feel like I need to see it again. The pacing absolutely kills the engagement. Now, I could definitely see the snail pace of this film to be an intentional, purposeful choice by Martin Scorsese to make us feel the same thing that the characters are feeling hopeless, feeling lost, feeling bored, feeling like they're not progressing any further with their journey. I understand that, and it is quite ingenious, but that doesn't mean that it was effective. And to be perfectly honest, once again, besides Andrew Garfield's character, I didn't really care about any other characters in the film. And many characters die in this film, and when they died, they didn't really leave an emotional impact on me. And I know you were supposed to feel an emotional impact when these characters died, but I felt nothing. I felt empty. I felt bored. I felt like, okay, well, that person's dead now. Okay, let's move on to the next scene. The best analogy I could possibly give Silence is that it's like a well-done cheeseburger. You go to this restaurant that you've been to many times before, and you had many great experiences in this restaurant, tasted so many great dishes in this restaurant, and then you finally order a cheeseburger from them, and you say, hey, make it well done. And when they present it to you, it's well presented. It has all the ingredients to make it a good burger, and when you bite into it, you like the taste. It's good. It's well done. But it isn't a remarkable experience. It's not like, oh my god, this cheeseburger is one of the best cheeseburgers I've ever had. I'll never forget this moment. You're just like, okay, that tasted good. You know, I'm satisfied, but not entirely satisfied. It wasn't like, oh my god, mind-blown experience. It's just adequate. It's a solid burger. And that's what this film is. It's an adequately made film. It's a well-done film, but it's just nothing truly remarkable. And it does pain me to say that, especially since it is a good film. Martin Scorsese made a good film, and Martin Scorsese is a great filmmaker. It's not a complete piece of shit. I'm not saying that it is. It's a good film. I just can't say that it's a remarkable film. A film that really stands out among the crowd. A film that I can praise to the heavens as one of the best films I saw in 2016/2017. It's a good film. And that's why I'm going to say that it is a solid film. If you're a fan of Martin Scorsese, you're going to see this film regardless of what I say. But if you're not a fan of Martin Scorsese and you kind of want to see this film, if you're intrigued to see this film, do go in knowing that it is quite a drag in some points. But as always, guys, I'm not the end-all be-all opinion when it comes to Silence. I would love to know what you guys thought about the film as well. Did you absolutely adore it? Is it one of your favorite films from Martin Scorsese, or one of your favorite films of the year? Or did you find it really boring, daunting, and a struggle to sit through? And let me know, what is a film that you saw that you knew was a very well-made film? It's a well-done film, but it just wasn't anything spectacular to you. It didn't really resonate with you. Comment below, let me know. And now that I got those two great films out of the way, now we gotta review some shit. So stay tuned for that. I know you're all excited to see that. You just can't wait to see me review Bye Bye Man and Monster Trucks. I hate all of you. So until those videos come, guys, if you'd like to support the Black Critic Guy just a smidge more, why not donate to my Patreon account? Link is in the description. And if you'd like to send me a fan letter, send it to this P.O. box right up here. And if you'd like to be a part of the Black Critic crew, not miss out on a single awesome video, hit that subscribe button below. Like this video if you really enjoyed it. And I'm talking about in a second, the saint known as the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.